Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge podcast, episode number 137, and as always, thank you so much for joining me today and listening in. If you are new, welcome and check out some of the other episodes on the page. All episodes are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, so make sure you are subscribed so you can get notified for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at the SkyLounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5UNG. Let's get started. All right, boys and girls, the game of complaining, useless, and negative toddlers sulking. Fans are the worst. That's right, all you Sherlock Holmes. Game of cunts. Fans are absolutely the worst. Let me take you through the reason why. Game of Thrones finally aired its season finale, series finale on Sunday. Yet some fans are livid. Season 8 wasn't satisfactory. It was terrible. There have been online petitions requesting new writing for Season 8. One reached 1 million. Complaints against David Benioff and D.B. Weiss is raised by the keyboard warriors during the entirety of the Season 8 run. All this, and I ask the pertinent question, why? Why? Why are you pissed off that the ending sucked? Some endings suck. But that's part of the entirety of the show. Or any show, as a matter of fact, right? You also have to take into consideration budgetary time and labor constraints. That's only putting it simply, boys and girls, right? To simplify that just down to 3 main things, that's oversimplifying it. There's a lot of bullshit that happens in the production of how TV shows are made. And this is one outsider just putting his opinion out there, right? It took 6 episodes for Game of Thrones to wrap up their final season, and we all knew they had a huge mountain to climb. Fans' expectations, studio expectations, everything else considered. There was a lot of expectation and pressure. For me personally, as a fan, and I want to set this aside for this little positive spear that I want to, give out to the staff of the Game of Thrones, creation in a sense. For me personally, as a fan, I am grateful that a fantasy, political, sexualized fiction landed on cable television 8 years ago. And yes, kids, I've watched the series since the summer of 2011 when it just ended, the wrap up of season 1. That's when I fucking first started watching Game of Thrones. And it lasted 8 years and gave us an ending. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, it actually gave us an ending. We could have been fucking Firefly fans, wanting some sort of ending, some sort of meat in between. And we got it all. We got it all. I may be just one dumb voice in the vast ocean of useless voices in the in the vastness and the uselessness of fucking social media. But from a fan, I say thank you. The directors, the producers, the actors, the writers, the set designers, the costume designers, the makeup artists, the lighting crew, guys, and literally everyone involved in the creation of Game of Thrones, because we will never have such a treasure trove of television production like we did with Game of Thrones. I don't think there really will be ever such massive scale, epic proportion, adventure, fantasy, fiction, everything wrapped into one. I don't think we'll ever have something that great again. Maybe I could be proven wrong, but something like this has been thoroughly impressive. And, the whole thing is the ending may not have been all that great, but goddamn, 8 years of just consistently great shit. And I don't want to feed the angry masses by confirming their stupid ass argument, right? These filthy fucking casuals. And this may be, bringing on the cancerous and cantankerous casual community, but bring it the fuck on, because I'm going to lay this out right now, boys and girls. Casual fans tend to bring about a wave of ignorance that comes off as unappreciative. When I hear fans complain about shit or make one-dimensional arguments, I automatically assume that you haven't done the due diligence of researching about all the behind-the-scenes shit. You're just fucking basing this off of just very shallow, off-the-surface shit, which is ridiculous. And this goes beyond just Game of Thrones, right? This just attacks casual fandom in general on any fucking subject. This shit happens in all facets of what I enjoy, right? And you face this shit all the time. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I can be a perpetrator of some of these things at times, but I always say this too, like, listen, I say this shit, but I don't really act on it. I'm not gonna fucking go out there and create online petitions like these fucking losers and get all riled up and shit. I'm just gonna say, like, dude, it fucking sucks. I don't really like it, but it is what it is. And here's the whole fucking thing, right? I mean, television, movies, sports, music, and whatever opinions can be given, there are always these casual fucking cunts that just ruin it for everybody. And you know what the unfortunate thing is? This is all based off of ignorance. This is all based off of some idea that their thought process is right, everybody else is wrong. They don't really understand the depth of what it takes to create shows like this, or products, or a team in terms of a sports sense like this. And here's the thing. In terms of that ignorance and any kind of ignorance, what do I always say, kids? Ignorance isn't bliss. It really isn't. To choose to live in ignorance blocks out the appreciation of the depth and complexity what any given subject can have. That's what I always say, right? I'm not perfect. I never claim to be perfect. I'm not going to sit here in this recording and claim, I know all the answers. I don't. I'm just one fucking guy giving his opinion and just flat out saying, all you fucking casuals right now that are complaining about Game of Thrones, you're wrong. I think you're wrong. To have a show of 8 years of such quality, to jump that production and quality, the quality and production, by multiplying the fucking budget by 10 times and still making it as good as it is, I don't think you fucking people appreciate enough what the fuck this show has done. And beyond that, casual fans don't appreciate the depth and complexity of whatever else is going on. Yes, as a fan of certain sports, I will complain about my teams. I will. I'm not going to hide that fact. But that level of understanding more about the team, more about how the administration works, more about how the executive works, that for me gives more appreciation to how everything in the end comes to a win, comes to a result. And it's just that much more satisfying. Understanding this shit, understanding more shit, acquiring knowledge, man. That's the fucking key. Ignorance isn't bliss, kids. Don't be the fucking casual fan that goes on a fucking rampage for no goddamn reason. And I'll keep this brief. I've been rambling too long about the topic of the week, so don't be a cunt. Research, learn, and appreciate before you start bitching. Alright guys, all game and match reviews are on the YouTube page at the SkyLounge, so make sure you check that shit out. For more detailed shit, Arsenal, Anal! Santi Cazorla. I know he doesn't play with us anymore, but some great bit of news for the guy. And, he's played for Arsenal for so long, so I wanted to talk about him real quick. Santi got called up to the Spain men's national squad at the age of 40. Not 40. Jesus fucking Christ, man. 34. Santi, you're not 40. You're 34. I apologize. But here's the thing. After an excellent season at Villarreal, and coming back from a career-ending Achilles injury in 2016, Santi has made it back. He has made a name for himself, and he's been called up for his national team. Absolutely ecstatic for the guy. I am so happy for him, and I hope the best for him moving forward. I really appreciated Santi when he was here, and again, I want nothing but good things for him. I really want great things to just happen for him. So, best of luck to you, Santi. That is just a great bit of news. Now, let's move on to some slightly distressing news about our other squad players. Alexander Lacazette, I don't know how you want to take this, boys and girls, if you're an Arsenal fan, but he still won't be called up for the French men's national squad despite the amazing season he's had. Now, that's curious because it just seems like Deschamps just fucking hates Lacazette, which is, I don't know where that beef is coming from, but seems like a tool move after a wonderful season of production in the Premier League, arguably the most challenging league in Europe, but Deschamps ignores the facts and kind of looks like a tool. A World Cup winning tool, yes, but still a tool in that sense, boys and girls. Now, Henrik Mkhitaryan. will not travel to Baku, Azerbaijan with the team due to tension between Armenia, his heritage and ethnicity, and Azerbaijan. And it's crazy that UEFA didn't take any sort of steps or even had the final set to another location instead of Baku, but sure, whatever. UEFA fucks up all the time. We get that shit, but it's unfortunate because, Henrik Mkhitaryan is a huge asset to the offense if we can have him readily available, but unfortunately he won't be there, and it's gonna suck, but we gotta buckle up. We got to get this shit done. It's a fucking final. It's everything or nothing, boys and girls. Come on, you Gunners. We still got a week before the fucking final, boys and girls. That's going to be on Wednesday, May 29th, so be fucking ready. Clench your assholes and cheer for the Gunners because we are coming, boys and girls. Come on, you Gunners. Now, let's talk about some other regular football news. FA Cup final. Manchester City complete a historic domestic treble. Yes, the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the Premier League title all in 1 year. And honestly, it seemed like a cakewalk for them. But they defeated Watford in the FA Cup final 6-0. You're not fucking mishearing me when I say that shit. 6-0. 6-0. Okay? 6-0. Okay? Jesus fucking Christ. I actually went to the pub to watch this fucking match, but I left around the 75th minute when it was 5-0. Okay, it was 5 fucking 0, and Sterling gets the hat trick because he's a greedy little fuck. But this was bad. This was just awful. Like, what the hell happened? Watford looked... Oh boy, I didn't even know what Watford was doing. Were they even there? They didn't even show up. It was Manchester City just fucking kicking the ball everywhere. And for Manchester City, this is a bit of a bittersweet day, in the FA Cup final because it was announced the very same day that Vincent Kompany was going to be departing Manchester City and heading to Anderlecht to be a player manager. So best of luck to the man because his 0.3% chance goal from outside the box to claim a tight grip against Liverpool for that first place in the Premier League will always be remembered. I mean, listen, we always shit about the fact that City doesn't have, fans around, but all us other, Premier League fans are pretty grateful that Liverpool hasn't won the league. It's kind of that narrative we want to keep going for whatever reason. It's petty, but that's kind of the Premier League for you kids. And here's the thing, due to the result of Manchester City just beating the fuck out of Watford 6-0, the Wolverhampton Wanderers claim a Europa League berth for the first time in 39 years. So they have been out of Europe, European Cup competition since 39 years ago. They are back, and congratulations to the Wolverhampton Wanderers because, listen, they've been great. They have been one of the best teams in the second half of the season. Beyond January, Wolverhampton Wanderers has been one of the best consistent teams that have come from behind and kicked everyone's asses. And I can say that as an Arsenal fan. We've seen that shit happen. So best of luck to Wolverhampton Wanderers in the upcoming Europa League campaign for next season. Now, Juventus will not be with Allegri, their manager, for quite some time for the upcoming 2019-2020 season, and the fanboys of Big Close will all salivate at the prospect of getting Allegri in their club. Oh boy, I don't know. It will be pretty interesting to see Allegri in a different league. I would probably assume because the money and the players, he might move to the Premier League, but we'll see what happens with Allegri. That is going to be a very curious case. So, football news does that for you, boys and girls. I don't know why I ended it like that, but I got to move on to some Seattle Seahawks news, baby! Not a lot to talk about with the Seattle Seahawks, though. They have started OTAs along with all the other teams, and the boys are looking great. I'm loving any DK Metcalf pictures that show up. I kind of get a little bit of a boner, if I'm not going to exaggerate here a little bit, boys and girls. But there's a lot of optimism in me as a 12, boys and girls. I can't lie about that. There's a lot of optimism here. And so go Hawks. Hopefully we get some good shit, some positive news before the season kicks off. Now, let's talk about the NFL in general. And a couple of teams with, a bit of news coming out throughout the last week here. Now, the New York Jets fired their general manager, Mike McCannigan, I'm not even going to fucking pronounce that right, so let's just move on. And make their head coach, Adam Gase, head coach and general manager. That's right, Gase is going to have the dual tandem job of head coach and general manager. Oh boy, I'm not sure how well this shit is going to work out. And it just seems like another mess that Sam Darnold has to just wade through. And I'm kind of on that boat of this kid is really talented, but will the organization kind of fail him? That's the big question mark with Sam Darnold at this point. But who the fuck knows? This is Jets. We'll fucking see what happens. Now, Patrick Peterson, cornerback of the Arizona Cardinals, is suspended for the first 6 games of the 2019 season due to PED violations. You fucking idiot. Good. And fuck Arizona. Gad. Nothing else to say about that shit. Now, Chris Long announces his retirement from football after 11 seasons, a ring in New England, a ring in Philly. The man will be remembered for, obviously 2 different reasons, 2 different storylines, 2 different universes. Oh boy, he's adding Marvel shit again. Fuck you. But here's the thing. Chris Long is an absolute class gentleman. His Clean Water for Africa project is pretty damn awesome and something to applaud. And, best of luck to you, sir, in your future endeavors, because my God, that man is class. If you win the Walter Payton Award, yeah, there's something great and amazing about you. So kudos to you, my man, and best of luck to you for whatever you do in your future, endeavors and whatever you do. All right. Now, some bad, sad news from the NFL, boys and girls, because it can't be the offseason without the Cowboys doing something stupid, right? Ezekiel Elliott was handcuffed during EDC weekend after pushing down a security officer. That's right, boys and girls. Right here in the beautiful town of Las Vegas, Ezekiel Elliott pushed down a fucking security officer. What the fuck? It can't be a fucking offseason without a cowboy in handcuffs. How about them Cowboys? Jesus fucking Christ, man. Now, within that division, there was some bit of somber news and a bit of what the fuck? Like, really? They can't catch a goddamn break kind of news. The Washington Redskins keep getting their dick punched by the football gods by means of Reuben Foster injuring his knee during the first day of OTAs. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I mean, seriously, it's kind of fucking crazy. He just got claimed off of waivers after this whole controversy about, domestic abuse and all that shit. Questionable domestic abuse, asterisk, boys and girls. But Jesus, man, the bad luck that runs with the Redskins and injuries, it is unfortunate, but it just happens. It's fucking crazy, but fucking Christ, man. Absolutely nuts. And speaking of nuts, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers released 6-time Pro Bowler Gerald McCoy. Like, what? I mean, you replaced him with Ndamukong Suh, but, like, what is that going to do? What the hell is happening here? I don't know. As a Seahawks fan, I'm looking at this shit like, let's try to sign him. Or probably, have to extend Bobby Wagner because he does want to be the highest paid linebacker. Change that whole market. And that news just came out recently, in the last hour or 2. And I do hope he gets paid, but man, that's going to really fuck up that cap situation for the Seahawks. But it's done. We're done with NFL news, boys and girls. A lot of NFL shit, but there's a lot of basketball shit. Between basketball and the hockey, there's a lot of fucking shit going on. But there's also bullshit going on, especially with the Los Angeles Lakers. The gossip twats. Rob Pelinka, Magic Johnson goes on ESPN's First Take and talks a bunch of shit. Pelinka backstabbed him. He couldn't fire Luke Walton and had no regrets about the AD trade attempt. Pelinka is confused, disheartened at the fact that Magic Johnson is questioning Pelinka's character. First off, none of you are right. Okay? As a fan of the Lakers, I can flat out say none of these men are right. I've repeated this shit so many times. Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, Magic Johnson, Rich Hill, and LeBron James are all responsible for perpetuating the toxic and goddamn dysfunctional culture that was brewing all of last season. And now it's a fucking stew that we can all drink and eat. Go fuck yourselves. All of you. Jesus. You know, it just fucking bugs me. It just fucking bugs me. And the NBA news, there's more shit that bugs me. There's a lot of shit that bugs me about the NBA right now. Ratings aren't that great. Players are fucking up. And none more so than Tyreke Evans. My God. Tyreke Evans banned from the NBA for violating the anti-drug program. And it wasn't just some cute drug like marijuana. He tested positive for methamphetamine, cocaine, LSD, PCP, and opiates that included heroin, codeine, and morphine. What the actual fuck, Tyreke? Yeah, good job. Say goodbye to your millions for your instant highs. Momentary instant highs. You fucking idiot. Oh, but son, you can't understand the complexities of an athlete's life and the pain. Go fuck yourself. The opportunity cost of fucking drugs versus what a everlasting fucking great potential career in the NBA. Get the fuck out of here, fucking Tyreke Evans. Bye. Now, the NBA Conference Finals, the Western Conference, pitched to us a very typical result. The Golden State Warriors versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Sweep, 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 sweep. I ranted about Portland enough. I did. And yet, they extend their head coach. And I'm left, just scratching my head. Go fuck yourself, Portland. You deserve nothing. Golden State Warriors. Curry and Green make history in Game 4, where both players had triple-doubles for the first time in playoff history. Both team players having triple-doubles for the first time in fucking playoff history. This is without Kevin Durant, by the way. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. They are absolutely leagues above everybody else. And in the Eastern Conference Final, who the fuck cares? Milwaukee versus Toronto, who the fuck cares? The series is tied 2-2. Who the fuck actually fucking cares at this point? Nobody. The ratings say so. The numbers are significantly down. I watch this shit and think, oh my God, the Warriors about to three-peat. They're about to three-peat. Got a buddy of mine said, Bucks in 7. I want to respond kindly to that man and say, listen, buddy. We all want the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, Sully from Monsters, Inc. to be real, but they're not. They're not. The Bucks winning in 7, it's not real. It's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream that will lead to the NBA Finals, May 30th. Surprise, surprise, the Golden State Warriors versus whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference Final. Well, not that interesting. But I'll still watch it because I'm a sadomasochist and I have to. Congratulations, folks. I get to talk about this shit more and more. Hooray! Now, let's move about to a different subject because I can't stand the NBA right now. The Golden Knights NHL Fan Awards have been nominations, but not making a lot of sense. Sometimes word connections are hard, and boys and girls, not gonna lie to you, there has been a lot of drinking, there has been a bit of smoking, but we are here, we are strong, and we're going to talk about the Golden Knights because in the NHL Fan Awards, Vegas players have been nominated. Ryan Reeves gets nomination for Best Hidden Talent, and Marc-Andre Fleury gets a nomination for Best Save of the Year. Good shit all around, boys. Best of luck to the awards. And speaking of luck and good shit, the IIHF World Championship. Marchessault and Stone are tearing it up for Team Canada. That's right, boys and girls. Jonathan Marchessault and Mark Stone just tearing it the fuck up without condoms for Team Canada. Stoner netted a hattie against Germany. Absolute dominance. But, continue to doubt the Vegas Golden Knights player. I know people will. We blew a 3-1 series lead. We allowed 4 goals in 4 minutes and 4 seconds in penalty killing. We blew it to a soft goal twice in overtime, back-to-back games. I get that shit. I do. But I'm very positive. I'm very optimistic about the Golden Knights. And another thing to be really proud of and happy about the Golden Knights is their responsibility they're kind of self-imposing responsibility to the community, and it's really awesome to kind of see that. And I don't mean that in any kind of negative connotation. And here's the thing: the Vegas Golden Knights, through their 5149 charity that they do every home game, raised over $1 million for local charities this season. Incredible work by the organization to give back to the community. That is awesome shit to hear. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations to the community. Awesome work. Go Knights, go. You know we're going to be still rocking the Vegas Golden Knights shit, boys and girls. There is never fucking an end to fandom for you and I if you are part of the sports monogamy, kids. Now, let's talk about some NHL shit. And before we move on to the juicy bits of the NHL, let's talk about some important shit that actually did happen. GM of the Year nominees have been announced. The under the radar, but still pretty intriguing award, because you get to see the dynamic of what happens to the team and how the team has made it from the beginning of the season to where they are now. And these three GMs are very notable ones. The Boston Bruins, Don Sweeney; St. Louis Blues, Doug Armstrong; Carolina Hurricanes, Don Waddle. Now, best of luck to all gentlemen. Each story has been fantastic. Boston Bruins, just absolute dominance over everybody, especially in this postseason, and their tremendous just effort in the regular season as well, despite all the injuries that was given to them. St. Louis Blues coming back from just terrible losing streaks to 11 straight wins to, beat the record of the franchise, and Carolina Hurricanes, just the darling sweethearts of the NHL this season, and just unfortunately got swept, but have been an incredible story. Bunch of jerks. Best of luck to all the gentlemen who created the culture and the roster that took to get these teams to where they were, where they are, and where they will be going. Now, let's talk about the Stanley Cup Conference Finals, because these are going to be some good shits that we have to talk about. We get to talk about because we saw the result and the end of the Western Conference Final. The San Jose Sharks are finally fucking drowned by the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis wins in 6. I was actually waiting for this game to end to actually finish writing this episode, and hey-oh, it worked. Gloria! Play Gloria. Fuck you, San Jose. Best of luck to St. Louis Blues. I actually want you guys to win. Best of luck. Now in the Eastern Conference. Unsurprisingly, the Boston Bruins swept the Carolina Hurricanes, as I've mentioned before. Sweep. Bunch of jerks get swept after sweeping the Islanders, who swept the Penguins. Sweepception! Oh, and imagine if the Blues swept the Bruins! Boy, oh boy, that'd be nuts! And here's the thing. Boston, the city, has another successful sports franchise. Surprise, surprise. Right? Surprise or fucking prize. Not that surprised. Not that surprised at all. But here's the thing. Stanley Cup Final will be the St. Louis Blues versus the Boston Bruins on May 27th. Slur my words. And it's fine. Because the questions will be asked, right? The questions will be asked. Can the ghost of Bobby Orr finally be lifted from St. Louis? Or will another Boston team just assert their dominance in American sports as usual? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Let's move on to some Dodgers news. I know, I'm covering some baseball nowadays, which is kind of crazy, but here you go. Kind of cultured and multifaceted, boys and girls, for your ripped pleasure. Now, Kenta Maeda, along with our other pitchers, to be honest, they've all been fucking great, has been killing it. Now, against the Padres, Maeda posted 12 strikeouts and drives in 2 runs. Then Maeda was announced to be out with an adductor contusion, placed on the IL. So, not great news, but hopefully the Dodgers can keep this shit going. And speaking of going and coming back, Julio Urias is set to return to the team. Stay out of Julio, man. Stay out of Julio. Stay out of trouble, Julio. Holy shit. You know what this means, boys and girls. When the sports brain starts shutting off, we gotta switch to the artistic brain. So remember, boys and girls, all weekly writing is in the links in the description below, so check that shit out. Weekly writing number 16, philosophy, nonfiction, death. I wanted to write about death in a not fucking emo way, but by what I feel I've experienced to witnessing death. It's very conceptual, and I just wanted to get that thought out, on writing. So Take a look at it if you want. Fuck off if you don't. I don't really give a shit, boys and girls. Fuck off. I don't really care. Now, here's the thing. Weekly film number 16, John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. That's right, boys and girls. I just watched this right before the recording. Actually, a couple hours before the recording. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But let's talk about the plot. John Wick must survive the bounty that has been bound to him. Meaning, watch the last fucking 2 movies. Seriously. Director Chad Stahelski. I can't fucking pronounce the name sometimes, so it's okay. Creates a wonderful roller coaster ride for the audience to follow. Solid. At times a bit slow, but ultimately pays off in the end. Another wonderful thing from the John Wick series. And here's the thing. I mean, when you talk about characters, it's all about motherfucking Keanu Reeves. I mean, John motherfucking Wick. I mean, honestly, I thought the ally Halle Berry and the quote-unquote main villain in Mark Dacascos isn't necessary and feels like they bog down the story more than they actually enhance it. So in terms of characters, I thought that was a bit lacking. But again, when you have Keanu Reeves just as John Wick, it's beautiful. It's glorious to watch. You just realize how much he actually invests his time into perfecting the craft of making John Wick an actual assassin that you get to, feel that it's palpable on screen. And it's so wonderful that Keanu Reeves does that. And huge, massive shout out to him. And it's also accentuated by how great the visuals are. Cinematography by Dan Lawson. Brilliant work as always. Just some of the most ambitious and beautiful fight choreographies I've seen in the John Wick series. Absolutely fantastic. And you really do owe it to yourself, kids, to watch this movie. It's unbelievable. I mean, you have the music of Tyler Bates and Joel Richard, another solid background ambiance, piece to all the set pieces that is set up for the John Wick, movie and series. And the crazy part is, and crazy, not so crazy, is the fact that the 4th John Wick movie will be released May 21st, 2021. So, man, I mean, this was such a solid entry, and I would give this a solid 8.5. Another solid entry to the action thriller series, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, is an excellent combination of visuals, music, and story that can be bogged down by, minor lackluster character moments. But other than that, it's a brilliant film. Watch 1, 2, 3. Everybody, I would recommend that any time of the fucking day. John Wick is fantastic. Now, album of the week, number 16, Igor, Tyler, the Creator. Fun titty bit. As soon as I heard this album was released a couple days ago, I had to hop the fuck on as quickly as I can. The dude basically won me over when he went on the Eric Andre show, and was rating out as hard as Eric Andre. I mean, some amazing shit to watch. But that's neither here nor there. That's some titty bits that we got to talk about. But my favorite track is, I think, right after Earthquake, you dive right into this track, and to me, I think it's got it all. A production orgasm. It just has everything. And you know what? It gives me that vibe of Pharrell, where it feels perfect. It feels fucking bump, bump, bump right there. Just bump, bump, bump right there. It's just, that has that rhythm, has that impact, has that fucking thing about it. And my Met track for me is Puppet. And another album, I don't want to pick a Met track, but I do. Nothing against the track, but compared to the others, it's kind of meh. So my thought chorus on this is simply, check out Tyler, the Creator, Igor. Awesome album. I would say it's an entire single track rather than just multiple tracks. That's what some of these albums feel like, and that's what Tyler, the Creator, puns available, creates. Now, I want to end off with this, boys and girls. Gaining weight, but not really. Eating like shit, but I haven't ballooned up like in Seattle. Thank fuck for that shit, because that was just gross. But the cardio level ain't that bad. Still able to start and end a workout on cardio, which I have surprised myself with, to be honest. But I'm still trying to find the right balance of eats and workouts that will, satiate the body and brain, both have to work in tandem, right? Otherwise you'll fuck yourself over or potential injury. So we're going to try to figure that shit out, boys and girls. And we're still going to try to figure out next week, what the fuck we're going to do with a big monthly adventure, because May is almost over and we still haven't figured anything out. But guys, that's it. Folks, thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure you are subscribed on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at The Sky Lounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at D813IG5UNG.